Hey, welcome everybody to Ohki Alley. We're excited to have you here. I'm going to start off by introducing Dale Luke, who is our Economic Development Director. He and the EDC really have been really a major partner in this project, so I'm going to let Dale give a few words here. So, yeah.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, Chip says it's just going to be some heavy sprinkles, no rain. Yeah, Dale Luke, I've only been with the EDC for a little over a year, but this project was in full swing when I was coming for that first year, and it was really a pleasure to kind of see a great new asset like this for this community. You know, the EDC spends a lot of time marketing Columbia City and Whitley County, and this will certainly help and go a long way. It's such a terrific outcome, and all the players and parties that were involved in this, and we were glad this to be a small part of it, and can't wait to start really bragging about this to, you know, all our entire network and throughout the state and the Midwest. So I'm thrilled. I'm very excited for this, and Mayor, congratulations.
Great. Thank you, Dan. So again, welcome everyone to Ohki Alley. As you'll kind of hear throughout the rest of this program, this alley is named after a former resident, Shinzo Ohki, who was a businessman, an artist, an entrepreneur, a gardener, an arborist, and by all accounts, a wonderful man. Shinzo Ohki was truly a pillar of our community in the mid-1900s, and this alley is not only a culmination of many community donations and a lot of work by many people, but it's also a symbol of the spirit of our community. This alleyway, a gathering place to create and build relationships between citizens and visitors alike, stands as a true representation of the big things we can accomplish when we do them together. We're so grateful to have many people, obviously, throughout the community and elsewhere who have had a hand in making this space come to life. Now, through his honor and his actions, his art and his stature, Shinzo left an indelible mark on this community that will never be erased. As you may know, Shinzo Ohki was also a strong Rotarian in Columbia City, and one thing that has remained so impactful to me has been the way in which Shinzo brought people together. I'm privileged today to introduce the Honorable Judge Mike Rush to tell a story or two, depending on how much time he has, of how the character of one man impacted our community through one of the toughest times in our history. Judge.
Thank you, Mayor. I bring you greetings from the Columbia City Rotary Club that this month will turn 102 years old, having been founded right over there at the old Cludston Hotel. Part of the history of the Columbia City Rotary Club is Shinzo Ohki. He was primarily in the first half of the 102 years. And I have a couple of stories about him and how he impacted Rotary at both the beginning of the Second World War and at the end of the Second World War. Shinzo became president of the Columbia City Rotary Club on July 1, 1940. His term of office ended on June 30 of 1941. In December of 1941, Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, and Shinzo did not come to the next Rotary meeting. He never missed a Rotary meeting. And he lived on North Main Street, just south of the Pizza King here in town, and the Rotarians realized that Shinzo wasn't there, and they understood why. And so a group of Rotarians went and got Shinzo, made it very clear that he was not responsible for what happened, that he was one of us, one of the members of the club, one of the members of the community, and they brought him to the Columbia City Rotary meeting to a standing ovation. And I am told that at a time when men were not very demonstrative, they were not huggers and criers, that there were hugging and crying going on at the Columbia City Rotary meeting that day. Fast forward to the end of the Second World War. Shinzo would hire people who came back from military service in the Second World War if they did not have a job and needed to feed their families. He made a job for them at Oriental Shoyu Company here in Columbia City. A gentleman from South Whitley was in the Marines and fighting in the South Pacific and came upon a fallen Japanese officer and they carried swords at that time, the Japanese officers did, and he took the sword and brought it back to South Whitley. The Columbia City Rotarians found out about it, made the gentleman an offer he couldn't refuse, and showed it to Shinzo. It had a lot of information about the officer's family, where he was from. Of course, Shinzo was the only one who could read it. The next time he went back to Japan to visit family, he took that sword with him and found the surviving family of the fallen Japanese officer, and on behalf of the Columbia City Rotary Club, he presented the sword back to the surviving family, and I understand there were tears shedding at that time. Why wouldn't there be? And part of what Rotary does is to promote peace, goodwill, and understanding of the peoples of the world. There is no greater example than promoting peace, goodwill, and understanding after a terrible war than what Shinzo did on his own behalf and on behalf of the Columbia City Rotary Club. And we're proud to call him one of our own. Thank you, Mayor.
Joining us, you want to say a few words? Yes, come on up.
Hi everybody. I'm the great granddaughter of Shinzo Ohki, and look over there. He is the great grandson, and he's with his great grandparents right now. And this is the first time he got to spend a whole week with them, so it's been wonderful. But when I was growing up, I knew Ohki Ji-chan, that's how we called him. Ohki Ji-chan was a painter because he had painted watercolor painting that we had hung up in our entryway in our home in Japan. So I knew him as an artist. And however, it wasn't until 2009, that's when I really truly started to know and get to know my great-grandfather. And I would like to mention that it was all because of Pat Heimbach that our family got to reconnect with Columbia City and with our family roots. If it wasn't for her, we might never have been able to find my great-grandparents' grave, or even learn about the fact that the community still remembers him. And so we are very, very grateful. I also think that today, when there's so much hate and misunderstanding in this world, that Columbia City is giving us all the perfect time to focus on unity and love. As a community, we need to build bridges between culture and people instead of looking at people's differences. And I would just like to thank you all, every single person who has been part of this making and taking a role in honoring my great-grandfather and just creating this beautiful space in the community, to enjoy and come together using this space. My family is full of gratitude for this day and for this space and for the people of Columbia City. I cannot thank you all enough. So thank you very much.